Good morning, good morning, good morning to all the places that I'm streaming. Uh, business Facebook page, personal Facebook page, and YouTube channel, No Judgment Zone. You are now in the No Judgment Zone with me, Sean Taylor, discussing topics with no judgments. Discussing topics with no judgments. Podcast is based off no judgments, so pretty much we're discussing topics with no judgments at all. You can say what you say, you can make your comments or whatever. It's not a podcast that's based off the going back and forth banter or debating or anything like that. You say what you say, we comment on it. That's about it. I say what I say. You don't have to agree with it. It's just my viewpoints on the way I view things, and we all have that right to do that. And then you also have your right to disagree, or you also have your right of your opinion, and you have your right to not even tune in or subscribe or even comment. So today's topic is pretty much on not giving up. I put somewhere in the body of as I was creating this podcast this morning, that my mother used to tell me, you know, in so many words, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of things that are challenging. Um, we live in an era now. I was making a comment in a private group earlier this morning. We're in an era now where people um, they don't have any fight in them. They feel as if what they've gone through in the past, um, uh, situations, circumstances, whether it's personal or professionally, it's causing them to move a little bit differently. And I can get that. I can understand moving a little different. I can understand moving a little cautiously, um, and being more observant before you make an execution. I can get all of that. But when there are challenges and when there's adversity or obstacles, just because they are in front of you, uh, avoiding them is something that I don't understand, especially when it comes to a person's fitness journey. So I'm going to start on fitness, then I'll probably go fitness, then personal, and then maybe back to fitness, since I'm not doing a healthy tip of the day. So when it comes to the fitness journey, when you're just starting out, there are going to be so many challenges as far as challenges of eating right, um, challenges in trying to get acclimated into the workout where your body actually adjusts, understanding that the things that you have to cut out, you don't have to cut out forever, but you kind of have to take your body through a detox. When I take a client on, I like to take them through, like, in the beginning, like a 14-day detox normally. No, majority of the time I do it. Sometimes if they're very experienced and they've exercised before and they know how to eat right, I really don't take them through that, because they pretty much know what they're doing. They just need to get back on the right path again. Um, but when someone's first starting out and they have so many nemesis that they're fighting, like whether it's junk food or whether it's drinking or whether it's bread or rice or mashed the bad carbs, you have to take that person on a 14-day detox, so to speak, to deprive them of that thing, for them to deprive that body of that thing that they're accustomed to always eating or drinking on a regular basis, so they can, within that 14-day detox, that body is going to go through a tug of war. It's also going to go through a tug of war in the first 90 days, because you are depriving your body of something that you've been eating all your life or drinking all majority of your life, or a way that you've actually have done your normal eating routine. You're depriving your body of that thing that you're normally you've grown to be accustomed to. And so the body is going to have a tug of war. Your body internally is going to fight you on things, and people are so dismissive of that fact. They don't. We live in a world where everyone pretty much has a microwave mentality. They have an unreasonable. They have a timeline of fantasy opposed to reality. You know, I made a post in one of my private groups about, would you Do you give up easily, or do you fight for what you want? And just the comments, it shows the different mindsets that people actually have. People feel in life that because they've been through so many things, then they start to put people and things and situations, circumstances in a box. My mom used to tell me all the time, because, and this is something I had to fight through for years. She said, you can't put every woman in a box. You can't put every black woman in a box. You can't put every white woman in a box. You can't put every Latino woman in a box. You can't put every woman of whatever color, culture, ethnicity. You can't put everybody in a box because you've had some problems with some people in the past, or you went through this. So it took me years to fight through that, because I did. I would put people, problems, situations, circumstances all in a box. And she said, Sean, I didn't raise you to be closed-minded like that. She said, when you put people in a box and you put situations, when men put women in a box and women put men in a box, they're all the same. All women are the same. All men are the same. All black men are the same. All white men are the same. You know what I'm saying? When you put people in a box, now you're not open-minded anymore. She's like, she's like, Sean, and that's one of the things I used to love, the conversations going back and forth with my mom. She used to educate me on thinking differently. And so what that does, when someone is educating you or challenging the way that you think, that's how you grow mentally. And a lot of people, they're so fixated on the outside. They're so fixated on the money. They're so fixated on what the person's driving, or what they so fixated on the what can you do for me type mentality. When you have that type of mentality, you're a closed-minded individual. And some people think that they're old. The problem I have, this is my issue that I have with just people in the world. It could be men, women, or whatever. The problem I have, when I've sat and watched a woman work 3 jobs to take care of 2 kids, she wasn't leaning on no dude. She wasn't plotting schemes on a guy. She wasn't talking bad about the father of her children, or she wasn't trying to sabotage or trying to poison our mind against him. What mom told me, she said, I wanted you guys to grow older to see on your own. Then you make your own judgments or choices or whatever. You make your own observation or hypothesis of what you see. But I didn't want to influence your decision. I didn't want to poison your mindset or your mind against your father. And a lot of people do that. You got men who poison they kill children against their mothers, and you got mothers who poison their children against their fathers. My mother used to say that's a very immature thing. It's a very, very immature thing. And sometimes we as people, we don't know how to compartmentalize things. When things go wrong between a man and a woman, that's going to happen. But the maturity, I want to use the mother of my daughter, for example, my 7-year-old daughter. People like it every time they see us engage with one another on any aspect. When she comes to pick her up from the studio or whatever, and we're talking or whatever, they're like, this is how negative the world is. They see us get along so well that they think either we still together, we got something going on, whatever the case may be. You mean because we are working from a space of mental maturity? Because we choose to take the high road instead of the low road? Because we choose not to be bitter over what went wrong between us? Because we are choosing to show our daughter what something healthy looks like, even though you're not with the person? This is how negative and a negative cesspool our world is that people look at that as odd. People look at that as abnormal, which that should be the norm. And my mother used to tell me also, she said, Sean, just because you are grown up does not mean that you're mature. Just because you are 40 or 50 or 60 doesn't mean that you have mental maturity. See, mental maturity comes how you deal with things when things You want to see, my mom used to say, you want to see how mature people are mentally? Let something go wrong and see how they handle it. She used to say this thing that I used to hate. She said, no matter what people do to you, make sure you keep your side of the road clean. And I never really got that until I started going through things and dealing with things with people. What I'm not trying to do is paint a perfect picture. Listen, brother is flawed and filled with idiosyncrasies from growth. I don't have a halo over my head. I have screwed up more than most. I've hurt people more than I've been hurt. I've lied, deceived, cheated, manipulated. I've done all kind of bad things that I don't feel good about. But what I'm not going to do is sit on those things or not speak on the bad that I've done. Most people don't. They come to a situation and they paint a beautiful picture for you. Nah, those dudes that you used to talk about that was dogs, I was that dude. Those dudes that had multiple women at one time, I was those dudes. Those dudes who went for women and women, I was that dude. Those womenizers, I was that guy. So all the bad things that you have thought about men and you say about men, I have done those things. That's why I don't judge nobody. I don't care if I only done one thing wrong. I have no right to judge nobody whether I've done all those things or not. But people are so hypocritical, like the world is, and it judges people for the same thing that they have done, but theirs is a secret and they're not going to divulge it. And let me tell you something, anybody who calls a person a victim and that person has let the world knows what it does or let people know, hey, listen, I ain't perfect. I done messed up. Blah, blah. That person's not the victim. The victim is the person who hide what they have done. The person who's the victim is the person who don't let nobody know that they've done wrong. And I've mentioned this before. If I go in front of inmates and I'm telling them that what they should do, da da da. Let me tell you something. Those inmates are gonna sit there with their arms folded. They're not going to accept me. You know why? Because I don't know nothing that they've been through. I ain't never done nothing wrong. I ain't never been in trouble. I've done everything straight. So how am I going to grasp their attention? They're going to listen to a person who's been to where they are, change their life around to tell them if I can do it, you can do it too. You're going to get, but if you ain't gone through nothing and you ain't admitting nothing that you've done, what audience are you capturing? And a lot of us, we are pretenders. We are fakes. We are fraud. We are fugazi as the day is long. And then want someone to respect you. I'm going to respect a man or woman who's not a pretender. I'm going to respect a man or woman who's going to be like, you know what? I've done my dirt. I'm not going to respect a woman who's always crying victim. Baby, you ain't always said the right things to men. You ain't always done the right things for men. You don't even cook a meal. You can't even cook him one meal a week. So, baby, please get yourself together, sweetheart, before you start acting like you are all of this and all of that. When I see people post, I was like, here they go with that nonsense. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something, the real woman and the real man is going to admit they dirt. They not walking around trying to pretend as if they're perfect. But that's what the world does. The world is so hypocritical. That's why I just tune them out. What's going to get my attention and what's going to make me be like, look at that person different is a woman who be like, you know what? I done my dirt. I'm like, what? Wow. You don't hear that every day. You hear victims, but you don't hear admittance of a person's guilt of what they have done wrong. You see a lot of victims and hear a lot of victimized mindsets. But who is divulging their dirt that they did? There's a flip side to everything. You got this piece of paper, lots of writing on it, but there's a flip side to nothing's on it. You got this water bottle, There's the label. And then you got all the things that's inside. You got this deodorant bottle. There's the label. But then you got all the things that's entailed. See, let me tell you, I'm saying all that to say this. There's a flip side to everything in this life. And people will try to bamboozle you to think that it's just one side. I don't care what she says. She can tell me anything she wants to tell me. But if I talk to that ex, that dude, he gonna tell me a whole different. So see, my thing about it is that let's just be real about our BS. There's this side to a hand that looks almost white, but then you got this other side that is dark. So there's a flip side to everything, people. And my mom used to always tell me, don't ever fall for the okie doke of what nobody's saying. Sean, talk to both parties involved. But what people do, they side with their friends. Your friends lie too. They side with their family members. Your family members lie too. They side with their coworkers. People lie. People lie and break laws every single day. And you can justify it all you want to. It still is what the hell it is. Getting back to topic, just because something is hard, just because something is challenging, doesn't mean it can't be accomplished. Even the good book says all things are impossible with us, people, men, women, girls, and boys. All things are impossible with us, but everything is impossible with him. All things are possible with this dude. I can look at a situation like, you know what? I may not be able to do that. But my father, the only father that I know that sits high and looks low, he can fix this for me. Because he's the only father I know. Never met my dad. But I'm not walking around here with a victimized mentality. Oh, I haven't met my dad or whatever the case may be. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, woe is me. I got a dad. He sits high and looks low. He's the best dad I know. He's somebody I can go to all the time. He's somebody I can go and talk to about anything, and I'll never hear it in the streets ever again. I can't tell you people that. Because y'all going to go and tell this person, and go and tell that person, and go and tell this person and that person. How I know about my personal business and my business? Because I know specifically of who I told it to. And so when it comes back, you can't even lie about it. But go ahead, entertain me with your lie. Because you're not going to admit it. You're the only person that knows about it. Because I don't air stuff out to certain people. You're going to have to earn that. Here's like Fort Knox. Only special people going to get here. And you're not going to be able to get in there because I got to trust you with whatever information I'm going to give you. Just because I tell you this here, give you a little knickknacks on social media, little tidbits about my life, you don't still know everything about me. You know tidbits, kibbles and bits, appetizers. You don't know the main course. So just because I tell you this or tell you that doesn't necessarily mean that you know Sean. To know Sean, you have to sit down and deal with Sean, have conversations face to face with Sean, go through some things with Sean, get some time in with Sean, put some years up under your belt with Sean. Then you may know him. Unless you're doing that, you don't know me. What you know is what you've heard of me. And they don't know because they're not in my life in the present. And anybody can tell you anything about my past. But my present is what matters and what's going on currently, today, September 22nd, 2023. Not what happened September 22nd, 1990. I don't hardly remember half the stuff in 1990. So y'all can have the past. To live in the past is to die in the present. Let me repeat that. To live in the past is to die in the present. To live in the past is to die in the present. And if you living in the past, you dying in the present, you have no future. But that's another topic. But a lot of y'all live in the past way too much. You live in the past over a person's past mistakes. You constantly bringing up their past mistakes. You constantly accusing and speculating and assuming. That's why I don't. My thing about it is I made a post in a story and I said, real game is telling her the truth and letting her make the decision in the direction she wants to go. But after I tell your dud ass the truth, and you still want to harp on and believe what you want to believe, I'm not going back and forth with you because Gwen taught me don't argue with a fool. When you argue with a fool, that makes you a fool too. When you try to reason with the fool, that makes you even more dumber. Think of me whatever you want, assume whatever you want, speculate whatever you want. I don't care. Because once I tell you this is what it is, and you choose to believe what you want to believe, it's on you now, baby. But if me and you trying to start something, or we got a situation, or we trying to build a relationship, or whatever the case may be, I tell you what it is, you refuse to believe it, I'm not going to sit around and wait for your common sense to kick in. Because let me tell you why I'm not going to sit around and wait for your common sense to kick in. Because time waits for no man and no woman. And time is going to go on with me or without Sean. Time is going to go on with you or without you. And they don't care nothing about you. So why am I sitting here waiting for your common sense to kick in when I've already told you the truth? Now, I done told you the truth. Now, you decipher it for what you want, but I'm not going to go back and forth with you and try to stand on one head to try to prove to you this is the truth. This is what I said it is. You got a choice in that moment. You can choose to believe it or choose not to believe it. But I'm not going to sit there and wait for your common sense to kick in. 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years. No, 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 no. Time is short. My time is precious. I'm stingy with it. I began being stingy with time when my mother died. So when I saw my mother died, when I left, and 2 days later she was in hospice, 2 days later she was dead and gone, it showed me a magnificent thing about time. It is precious and it should not be wasted. So I'm going to be stingy with my time. And if you one of those manipulators of wasting time, I'm not going to entertain that nonsense. If you want to go back and forth over old shit, you might as well count me out. You're going to go back and forth in your mind by yourself. So at the end of the day, look, I told you the truth. You chose to go back and forth. You listen to the voices in your head or whatever, like you in your house like you're in a straitjacket acting all crazy. I ain't got time for that. And I ain't got time for you to act like a grown-ass woman to get your shit together to realize, listen, this is what it is. I don't care whether you believe it or not. You got a choice. I take whatever you say for face value. Here you is doing like you an alphabet boy, FBI agent. You got to dissect everything I say. But I'm not dealing with that. Too old. Time is precious. So listen, man, I'm on the back nine. I'm trying to enjoy whatever years, days, months, minutes, seconds I got. I'm not going to waste it on somebody who's wasting my time. Dealing with that attitude, dealing with this, dealing with it, man, you want to defraud me? I don't want, okay, I'm washing my hands with the man. Now be mad at yourself. And I tell people all the time, and I have women that come to me and men come to me, and I say, listen, did she come to you and tell you the truth? Did she come to you, bro, and try to rectify the situation? Did she come to you and it's like, hey, let's try to fix this? So now, brother, when you done made the choice, because you got your ass on your shoulders, and you want to have an attitude, and you want to be mad because you choose to be mad, and you want to be unforgiving because you choose to be unforgiving. Now the woman has moved on with her life, and she got somebody in her life, and that person that she told, listen, I used to be this person. There is nobody I get with after when I done my dirt. I'm going to let that person, a new person, know I did this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so they know. So when that old person tries to come back and tries to sabotage the situation, she going to be like, he's already told me. My mom told me to do that. And that's what I've always have done. So when you try to come and sabotage my new thing, you're going to look like a fool. And she's going to ignore you because she already knows. I've already told her because I know. My mom says you have to get in the psyche of a woman to understand the dynamics of how a woman thinks. And a bitter, resentful woman who's really wants to get back at you, she's going to try to screw up what you got. And men do it too. I'm an equal opportunist. Men be messing up, women be messing up. I'm gonna be on both your asses. So there's no neutral zone. Everybody's messing up. But when you try to sabotage mine, that new chick gonna be like, he already told me what he did. That ain't got nothing to do with me, man. And guess what? She ain't going nowhere. So it's not going to work. So you can bring up any old story that you want. I've already told the new chick about it. And she don't care nothing about you anyway. And then I'm going to be strategic to make sure I don't even have nothing like you anyway. So that means I'm going to get someone with emotional intelligence, someone who has common sense, someone who has logic and reasoning in their mind, because I'm going to study and I'm going to observe that person to make sure their mindset is nothing like the person from the past. And that's why you're going to lose too. They're going to be smarter, more educated, more street. You ain't going to be able to come at them with the mokido. Now, a weak woman will entertain you. But a woman of mental strength and mental maturity and emotional intelligence and all those things that is wife material is not going to entertain you because she's a woman of class and sophistication. She's going to shut you down before you even get that far. My mom has already taught me that life is chess. It ain't checkers, baby. And if you playing checkers, you're going to be behind the 8 ball every single time. That means it's going to be constantly 8 ball corner pocket on your dud ass. Because you playing that old game. You can't, if you ain't street, you can't outsmart a street person. If they got an education on top of that street, you will never be ahead of them. They're gonna be 20 steps ahead of you all the time because you ain't street. You a person who think you smart. Gwen always told me this: a man or woman who's street smart and educated is extremely dangerous. You can't win against them. You can't. They thinking on two different levels while you on one, when you just got one basic level that you can't even get right. Period. So how you gonna outsmart them? Whatever you do, they already gonna know that you're the person that's trying to infiltrate. You're the cause of the problem. My mom always told me, baby, when you go from a bad relationship, always upgrade the next one with someone more intelligent than what you previously had. I was like, Mom, why is that? She said, because she ain't gonna be dumb to the things a dumb woman's gonna bring, a bitter dumb woman's gonna bring to her. She's not gonna fall for that nonsense. And baby, get you somebody who's got a little street and education. Because she deadly and y'all deadly. Now y'all make for a deadly combination. So nobody can infiltrate what y'all got. Because y'all 10 steps ahead of everybody. And see what the problem with you people are, you don't think deep enough. You just look at things that are shiny and you just go for it. And that's why you constantly keep getting played. You don't think smart enough. That's why you constantly keep going through the same things. You don't observe long enough. That's why you keep going through the certain things. You don't have deep, meaningful conversations to see how deep or vast their mind is or is not. So you keep getting the same dumb brothers. Or dude, you keep getting the same dumb women. I don't care what nobody says. Intelligence is the most sexiest, the most beautiful, the most prettiest thing of a woman. But let's be honest and real. Not every woman possesses that. And I'm just being honest. Check out how they move. Check out what they post. Check out how they say. Check out who they hang around. Check out what moves them mentally. Will let you know where their level of intelligence stand. And if you really want to know if people are intelligent, intelligent people never get offended by things that are factual, which furthermore lets you know their intelligence level too. See, when an intelligent person sees an intelligent saying, an intelligent statement or intelligent speaking, they're not going to get offended by facts. Dumb, stupid people get offended by facts because those are people who lead constantly from their feelings. They don't lead from a realm of logic, reasoning, or common sense. And one thing about Sean that my mother always told me, don't ever speak on nothing that you haven't experienced, gone through, or currently going through. First of all, it makes you look and sound real dumb. You're a fake pretender and a fraud. And you're just like the majority of people in the world who do that. So whatever I speak on, people, whatever I tell you, whatever I post, somewhere in there I have experienced that. Somewhere in there I have gone through that and overcame it. My job is to help people not to do the same thing because you're going to get that same outcome that I got. That's why every time my son said, I'm like, don't do that because I done did that and this is what the outcome going to be. You know what he's going to do because he's smart. He's going to do the opposite of what dad told him not to do. Now, if he chooses to do the same thing I did, when he comes to me, I said, dummy, I told you not to do that. You did it anyway. Now you got to deal with that dumb outcome the same way I did. Not listening to common sense and reasoning and logic causes a lot of problems in people's lives. You can't argue with stupid and you can't reason with stupid and dumb. You just can't. It makes you more dumber. So why am I going to waste my time doing that? If I tell you this and you keep coming back and coming back, now I'm irritated and annoyed. Now I don't want nothing to deal with you because you still on that rah-rah bullshit that I don't have time for. I got better things to do with my time. You keep doing that and I keep doing me. You stay where you at, I stay over here. We good. Think about me. I'll be whatever you say. I'll be the nightmare in your whole damn story. You could tell anybody anything you want. I really don't care. Because anybody of class is not going to be out there damning a person's name anyway. A happy person is not going to be in somebody's life trying to be disruptive anyway. And what you have to understand and what you really have to realize is this. When you are going through things, go through it. Just go through it. No matter how hard, no matter how challenging it is, just go through it. It's going to be okay. But to not go through it and to ignore it, pretend like, it's okay. It's all right. Who cares? You need to go through that thing, man. You really, really need to go through that thing. Just because something is challenging, just because something is hard, doesn't mean it can't be accomplished. You are not measured by your past or your past mistakes. The people who is measuring you like that, those aren't your people, man. Those are the same people who are going to die alone. Because when they get with people, all they do is judge them. If you want any dynamic of any type of relationship to work, you got to take judgments out of the equation. Once judgments is there, you might as well throw in a towel anyway, because it's not going to go any further. I'm going to tell you why. Once you start judging a person, that person starts to slowly fall back. They stop talking to you. They stop telling you things. Why? Because they don't want your judgments. They don't want them. Once you judge a person that you supposedly care about, that's supposed to be your dude, that's supposed to be you. My mom told me, once you judge them, Sean, once y'all start judging each other, y'all begin to lose each other slowly. You won't even make it to the finish line. And she's right. I found that in majority of relationships that I've been in. As soon as you mess up, they judging you. They looking at you different. All because you ain't Jesus and you don't walk on water. And then we recycle people. You go from person to person to person, person to person to person to person to person, person to person to person to person to person, person to person to person, person to person. Oh, my peace, my peace, my peace, my peace, my peace. Oh, my peace, my peace. I hear people talk about peace so much, man. I said, boy, they leaning on that peace like just leaning on oxygen, trying to get oxygen. Yeah, it's just, and it's like everybody's robotic with the peace thing. Eh, 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 peace, 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 peace. You just same uniform, same dialect, same verbiage, same outfit. My piece, robotic, 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 robotic. Yeah, you're robotic. You're talking the same language, and it's boring. It's boring. I get it. Yeah, you can't put a price on peace of mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I get that. I get that. But not everybody's coming into your life to disrupt your peace. But that's that's another that peace topic is another topic within itself. But that's what we do as people. We do that all the time. We mimic others. Instead of creating our own path, we mimic others. And my mom always told me, Sean, create your own path. Don't be a follower of people. If you a follower of everybody, Sean, you you ain't even living. You just existing, son. You're not even going to stop it. Yeah, so hold on, good people. Because if I don't send this, they're gonna keep calling and keep calling. Jesus Christ. Hold on for one good second. Mm, let me go. Hold on, people. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Jesus Christ. God dang it. Man, I can't find it. Hold on, what is this? Ah, I can't find it. Bear with me. Known. What? Hold on. Oh my God. All right. Okay. Hopefully they got the message. So, but like I was saying, just because things are hard, don't give up. Don't give up, man. On your fitness journey, why do we give up? Because it's hard. We give up because it's hard. We give up because it's challenging. We give up because, oh, the results aren't coming fast enough, blah, blah, blah. And if you know it's you that's the problem, then make the choice. It's hard for me to feel sympathize and empathize with grown-ups that's not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You the problem. Stop complaining and make some changes. I mean, Jesus Christ, grow up. Make some changes. Start pretty much. You could take the ownership. Take the ownership, but come on, man, we ain't got time for this. No, no, no. Got it. So you got to take the ownership. You got to own your part of what you're doing or not doing when it comes to your fitness journey. You got to do that. So whatever's going wrong, you got to own it. Hold on for a second. I don't have it. Yeah, so we have to own our own issues. We have to own our part on our fitness journey. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They choose not to do that. You know why? Because taking ownership is responsibility. Taking ownership is accountability. And a lot of people don't want to do that part. That's the part they don't want to do. They don't want to do the ownership part. And we have to do that on our fitness journey. We have to own the part that we're not doing in order for the body to change. And if we're not going to do that part, then what are we doing in the first place? We have to realize that I'm the cause of this problem. I got myself in this situation. I got myself overweight. I got my blood pressure high. I got myself on this cholesterol medication. I'm the cause of this of why I got diabetes. Now, what am I going to do about it now? What am I going to do about it? My back is sore all the time. Well, if you're not doing any core work, you're going to have a sore back, ma'am. You got to do the core work. So you got to understand, your body is not going to happen overnight. It's not. And even if you go get cut and slabbed and sliced and diced, you still going to have to do the work. You mean to tell me that you really think the work's going to stop because you didn't went and got work done? You still got to do the work, period, to maintain. And if you're not willing to do the work, yeah, you didn't went and got cut and slabbed and all that craziness. But the bottom line is, you still have to do the exercises. You do know that the gym work, keeps going. It don't stop, no matter what we do, because what that does, the exercise keeps the muscle on. And without doing the exercise, there would be no muscle whatsoever. And that's what we forget. Or we really don't take the time to actually think about, because we're so busy worrying about what shortcut can I take to not do so much work. The body is all about the work. The body is all about the work. And you got to do the work. And a lot of us don't like to do the work. We want the results, but we don't want to do that work part. And that's in all facets. That's in all aspects of our own individual lives, on the job, whatever. We want everything that results that come from, but we don't want to do the W, the O, the R, and the K. You want the perfect relationship, but all relationships are work. All marriages is work. So if you're not willing to do the WORK part, well, you're going to get what you've always gotten. Yeah, your bad attitude is going to kick in. See, who you are is going to kick in at some point. That's just who you are. If you nasty, you're just a nasty individual. Just say it. You got a bad attitude. Just say you got a bad attitude. I had some people who say, you know what? I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, and they proud of it. I'd be like, well, good luck with that one. Good luck with that. People, you really think that people are gonna waste the time to fight through your bad attitude? You think because someone has done you wrong that you deserve something in life? You really think that you are entitled to something? You are entitled to what you WORK towards work. If people have done me wrong and someone new comes in my life, I'm not entitled to anything that I'm not trying to work with this new person. I'm not entitled to nothing. I'm entitled to what I WORK towards. She don't owe me nothing because I had a bad hand, I had bad past relationships. She owes me nothing. I don't owe her nothing because she went through past bad relationships. I owe her nothing. We owe each other what we WORK towards. And if we're not doing the WORK, then we are not entitled to anything because we don't want to do that WORK part. No matter who you with, no matter what job you on, you got to do that WORK. Or there's no production. Period. You think that relationship and marriage is going to last if you ain't doing the work? It won't. You'll be constantly recycling people, constantly going from person to person to person because you're not willing to do the work. You want hand-me-downs. You want layups. That's what you want. You want easy. You want that easy, but easy. You'll get easy over somebody you could just walk around, walk on, and dog out and talk to any kind of way. Yeah, you get easy. But even that's going to get old because I tell people all the time, in order for your brain to get better, to stay sharp, it has to think. In order for the brain to think, it has to work. In order for the brain to work, it has to be challenged. So in order for the brain to think, it has to work. And it has to be challenged. And if the brain is not challenged, there can be no work. So there can be no mental growth. And you get with people who's not challenging you mentally. So pretty much you get with dumb people. Don't expect to be challenged from dummies. You're going to get the same thing that you always got. See, a dummy's not going to challenge you mentally at all. They're going to stress you out. That's not challenging you. They're going to make you feel worse than what you're already feeling. That's not challenging you. A challenge is something that's different. Causing your brain to think a different way. It's like this. You trying to fix a problem and they like, no, that's not how you do that. I'm going to show you a different way. But you got to listen to learn that different way. If a person walks through my door and says, Sean, I want training, they have never worked out before, or they haven't worked out in a while. I'm the instructor. I'm trying to instruct them, to teach them, to educate them in a different way. But they're constantly doing this. They're fighting against the instructor. His job is to instruct. So why are they fighting against him? They're fighting against the instructor like their body looks like the instructor. Like they got the education and experience of the instructor. Like they got the time and tenure of the instructor. Does that make logical sense to you? Do you not think that there's people in the world that's like that? I've had people like that in the midst of me, and other clients is looking at that combative person who is constantly butting heads with me. I'm trying to tell them this is how you do it, but they constantly open their mouth. In my mind, I'm like, who in the hell is married to this chick? And I automatically feel sorry for that guy. Because if she's combative in that moment, she's combative at home. And basically, she's been married to him a long time. He has no spine, no spleen, no nothing. She is totally walking all over him. Those type of individuals, I cannot train. We will never work. And I will cancel their ass quicker than I can blink because you a whole problem. And I've told people, whatever that attitude you have at home with that husband or boyfriend, don't bring it up in here because that's not going to work. I ain't him. You got one or two choices. You can do what the hell I tell you, or you can get the hell out. And I don't care. I ain't got nothing invested in you. He does. Leave your attitude at home with him. Leave your attitude at home with your boyfriend. But if you coming to train up in this joint, ain't gonna, I'm the only HNIC up in here. Period. And I done paid my dues to be the HNIC in here. So do you think for a millisecond that I'm gonna deal with your bad attitude? Your money ain't even worth that, baby. You take that stuff somewhere else. Because all the other women are looking at you like, what is wrong with this heifer? Because it has happened. My loyal clients that's been with me a couple of years, they looking at that new person like, what is wrong with this chick? And they don't even want to train in the hour that you train. Oh, this has literally happened more than once in my 20-something odd period of training people. But in my 9 years of owning my business, it has happened. And every year, there's always one that try to come in and tries to reinvent the wheel. It don't happen, and they don't last. And when it's everybody's the problem and you ain't the problem, when you are the initial problem, you are ironically your own problem. And that's the problem. That's the issue. You got one job: show up, shut the hell up, be executing, and go home. All that extra stuff, save that for your husband and your boyfriend, because I'm not dealing with that nonsense, man. I'm not dealing with it. That's why I'm gonna pick and choose who I want to train. And if you are difficult, take your difficult ass somewhere else. Life is difficult in itself. I'm not going to invite difficult into my life when life is already difficult. I mean, that just makes logical sense in my logical mind. Why am I going to invite difficult into my life when life is already difficult? I'm trying to eliminate difficulty. I don't want to invite it in on purpose. Who does that? But people do that all the time. I'm like, no, man, I didn't get into it for the money. I got in this because I'm passionate about it. Follow the passion, it'll come eventually. I don't expect nobody to understand it. People say to us, are you going to, are you going to, I've heard people said, are you going to train all your life? I'm like, I'm more than just a trainer. I mean, I own it. What do you own? You're going to clock in on somebody's clock. You're a slave to somebody's clock, and you don't talk to me about what I do? That makes no sense. You don't own nothing. You own nothing but the clothes that you are wearing. You got to understand. People try to insult. They try to mask their insults. And that's not even, I'm like, man, I see right through that. But I'm not going to go back and forth with you about you the slave on the clock. And you know what? I got the power to do what I'm not even going to do that. Because I didn't been with you where you at. So what's so exciting me going back to that when I've already done it? It's like going back to an ex. You already know how they are. They ain't changed. Why am I going back to that shit? Why? Your job you need to be challenging yourself and quit worrying about what I'm doing over here. Because I'm not going to question what someone's doing in their life if that's what they love to do. But people try to do that. I say, listen, if this ain't good enough, go ahead and get you something else. It don't bother me. It really don't. but you just shows how superficial and how judgmental you are. But you just try to mask it to make it to be something else that it's not. You're not that bright. I'm always 10 steps ahead of you. Intellectually and street, I'm always 10 steps ahead of you. You expose yourself and you don't even see it, which is so sad. You are not measured based off money. You're not measured based off materialistic things. You're not measured based off your past or your past mistakes. So don't give up on yourself because life has given you a hard hand. Don't give up on yourself just because your fitness journey is a little bit hard and challenging. Keep going no matter what. Keep persevering no matter what. Keep showing up no matter what. See, all consistency, anything that's coming through the realm of success has to have a certain level of consistency. And if there's no level of consistency, there will be no success. You have to have that mindset when it comes to your body. If you're not consistent with your body will show no success. If you're not consistent with your body will show no changes in your musculatory system. If you're not consistent with your body will show no weight loss. Your body will show the body fat's not dropping. And see, along with consistency, that means you have to do a little bit more. And problem with people, they want results, but you're not doing everything that involves those results to actually come to life, so to speak. So you have to do what needs to be done in order for those results to come into fruition. And if you're not doing what needs to be done, those results will never, ever come into fruition. Never. Never. It just won't happen. But a lot of people don't get that. And what I tell people all the time, you have to understand, you have to understand that you got to be consistent. You have to be consistent. A man or woman is great, not because he or she has failed, but because he or she hasn't allowed failures to stop them. Let me repeat that. A man or woman isn't great. A man or woman is great not because they haven't failed. He or she is great because they have not allowed failure to stop them. Y'all afraid to fail. That's why you never finish. You afraid to fail. That's why you never start. With no discipline, there could be no commitment. Without commitment, you will never finish. Without discipline, there can be no commitment. Without commitment, you will never finish. So you need discipline, commitment, and consistency. A man or woman is great, not because they have not failed. They are great because they have not allowed failures to stop them. Do not allow your past failures. Professionally, do not allow your past failures personally stop you from being great. So that last relationship didn't work out. That last marriage didn't work out. You still can be great. Your failures don't measure how great you can be. On your fitness journey, your past failures is not going to measure how great you can be in the present and in the future. A man or woman isn't great because they haven't failed. They are great because they haven't allowed their past failures to stop them. And a lot of y'all have allowed your past failures to stop you. Your past failures have you having bad attitudes. Your past failures have you being resentful and bitter. Your past failures have you not reaching out. Your past failures have you thinking that somebody owes you something. Your past failures have you feeling sorry for yourself. Your past failures thinks that you really are entitled to things. You allow your past failures to break you based off how bad your attitude is. So if you go in, like my mom said, don't put everybody in a box. Sean, you can't put every woman in a box. You can't put every job in a box. You can't put every bad situation in a box. But when you put things in a box, that means you've allowed those past failures to defeat you. So for all your bitter posts, you've allowed your past failures to beat you. For all your bitterness, you've allowed your past failures to beat you. They're just not bitter women out here. They are bitter men. They're just not resentful women out here. They are resentful men. They're not just unforgiving women out here. They are unforgiving men. They're not just dramatic women out here. They are dramatic men too. Stop allowing your past failures to defeat you with that bad, sour, piss poor attitude. You think you winning and you living your best life? How you living your best life, but you got a whole bitter, unforgiving, resentful type attitude of your past? You still mad at the dude that cheated on you. Some of y'all still mad at, I'm going to say it, some of y'all still mad at the dude that cheated on you with the woman outside his race. And I'm just putting that as dignified and as eloquent as I possibly can with the dash of sophistication without saying a word, without y'all sensitive people getting butthurt out there. You don't like me. You got a whole problem with Sean because Sean ain't sugarcoating that truth. And it's stinging. It stings when you drink. It stings when you drink it down. You still bitter off the man that rejected you. You still bitter, bro, off the woman that rejected you. You still mad because the man who abandoned you or the woman who abandoned you. Let me tell you something. In this life, Gwen told me, I can't stop you from being hurt, son. I can't stop you from being done wrong, but I can give you the keys. I can give you the answers to the test and how you can overcome that nonsense. Don't let it consume you. Because once it consumes you, it changes your whole mindset. It changes your heart. My mom said, do not let the people in this world change your good heart. Do not let the people even in love. Do not let the people in this world cause you to be bitter, cause you to be resentful, cause you to be unforgiving, cause you to think that you are entitled to something, cause you to think that you are owed something. Have you walk around saying what you ain't gonna do and what you ain't gonna put up with. Y'all got a timeline and everything. How about putting a timeline on that bad attitude you got? How about putting a timeline on that bitter and resentment and unforgiving that you got? How about putting a timeline on that past that you've been carrying around for the last 10, 15, 20 years? You did? How about putting a timeline on your ass being lazy, not doing what you need to do to get your body activated for so it can really start responding for what you are doing? See, if your mind ain't right, your body's not going to respond anyway. And I done said it once. Once you stressed out, Jesus Christ, everybody calling. Once you stressed out, ladies, your body stops creating. It makes it hard to create estrogen. So you got bedroom problems, and you got, you know, you got these issues. That's my son calling me, man. Let me call this dude. Well, let me. Golly. Ugh. Yeah, so once you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you're exposing yourself. And you should not want to do that. Don't let the past defeat your present, man, and destroy your future. A lot of y'all do that. And yeah, what? Lord, well, I tell you, I can't find that when I need to find it. Anyway, so don't allow the past to stop you. Don't allow past failures to stop you. Just don't. Don't do that. If you want a better present and if you want a better future, change your attitude and mindset positively and objectively. And that's how change comes about. It's simple and simplistic laws of attraction. What you keep putting that bitterness out in the world, you're gonna keep getting it back. You keep putting the unforgiveness out in the world, you're gonna keep getting it back. You keep putting a bad attitude in the world, you're gonna keep getting it back. Which you keep. That's why you can stop your own vicious cycle by changing your mindset positively and objectively. Let go of the bitterness. Let go of your past. Let go of everybody. Let go of the people that did you wrong in the past. They done moved on with their lives and they ain't thinking about you. Let go of the resentment, the unforgiveness. Let go of that stuff, man. It's holding you down. And that's why you're not getting no forward progression in your body, in your health, in your relationships, and otherwise. A man and woman is great not because they not because is a man and woman is great not because they have failed, but they're great because they have not allowed the failures of the past to stop them. Stop allowing your failures of the past to stop you. Stop allowing your failures of the past to stop you from getting your body right, getting your health right, getting a relationship with a man or woman that you want. Stop allowing the past failures to stop you. Majority of people live in their past and they change their heart based off what they've been through. Mom always say, don't let these people in this world change your good heart. And I commend all the people who have been done wrong and been through some hard stuff in their life. Their good heart ain't changed. I commend people who be like, man, I still believe in love, even though I didn't got shitted on. I still believe in it. I know this weight ain't coming off as fast as it can, but I believe if I did it once, I can do it again. See, you got to believe and think positively in the present and going forward, opposed to all the negative things that have happened in your past behind you. But that's all I got, man. Eat to live this weekend. Don't live to eat. Remember, Monday's coming right around the corner. Remember, Monday's coming right around the corner. Eat to live. Don't live to eat. Remember, I done told y'all, portion control is everything. Here's the plate. Here's the saucer. I can't put a lot on this saucer. This is smart thinking. So I'm going to eat off this saucer because I'm trying to control my portions because I struggle with my portions. If I put my portions on this plate, I'm going to eat it like it's the Last Supper and food's going to be falling off because I have a problem with portion control. If you have a problem with portion control, start getting the saucer instead of the big ass plate because you can't monitor your portions because you're not disciplined enough yet to monitor your portions. So for right now, you got to use the saucer instead of the big plate. That's all I got. But like I said, at the end of every segment, I didn't mean to go this long. I'll start judging people once I'm perfect too. But since that mystical, magical, majestic day is never going to happen, and I'm in no danger of ever becoming perfect, you'll never have to worry about Sean Patrick Taylor ever judging you. Listen, stay up, surround yourself around people that you can authentically be yourself with. And those people are like needles in haystack. They're hard to find, but surround yourself around people that you can truly be yourself. Surround yourself around people who are non-judgmental. Surround yourself around people who are going to accept you for where you are. Surround yourself around people who got enough common sense to realize you got to pass and you made past mistakes. It's not their place to judge you. Mind the company that you keep. And sometimes you have to clean house in your own individual life in order for your present and your future to be better. I catch you guys on the flip. Peace.